Oh, when I tell you, it's like I feel like I'm destined not to be going to the gym. I feel like I'm destined not to be going to the gym.
Crazy curvy wavy, crazy curvy wavy, crazy curvy wavy, big titties, little
Good morning, you guys. What is up? I hope you guys are having a great day. I am having a good day. I just woke up in a good mood. I don't know, like I was just like, you know what? Just wake up happy and just be positive, and that's going to change your outtake of the rest of the day. I'm excited to record this week of workouts, but what it's going to be actually is going to be a deload week. So I'm in a deload week, which basically means that I'm not going to be lifting heavy. I'm going to be doing like higher reps, more sets, but a lesser load, because when I tell you guys my body is done up, it is done up. Like I don't think I can physically lift heavy. My body is aching, it's sore, it needs to stretch. Like I just can't go hard this whole week. So I really need to just listen to my body and reset. So I'm gonna take my pre-workout in the gym while I'm doing my warm-up. So by the time I'm ready to work out, it's already gonna kick in. I'm not gonna show you guys my warm-up just because I do literally the same dynamic stretches every single workout. Like, call me basic, call me generic, I don't care. I just do the same shit every week, every workout, because it works. It works for me, okay? There's no need to switch it up and do all these crazy, freaky, funky stuff we see on Instagram. Like, stick to the basics, switch up the variations, but the basics work. They're called basics for a reason. So let's be some basic bitches, okay? So I'm gonna do that, and I'll catch you guys in the gym while I show you guys what my workout's gonna be for today. I'm excited. I am super, super excited. It's gonna be a good leg day, lower body day, glutes day, whatever. It's gonna be good, okay? It's gonna be good. All right, so before I do my hip thrust with heavy weights, I always make sure to do body weight hip thrusts, because it just allows my muscle and mind memory to just kick in and just remind myself of like that movement, because you know your nervous system does connect with your muscles. If you didn't know, now you know. So then after I do that, I go ahead and do them with the weights. So right now I'm doing about 80 to 90 pounds with the plates, and I added resistant bands just to increase the intensity a little bit. But what you guys want to keep in mind is that your shins should be straight. So as you see, my knees are right on top of my toes, they're not slanted, and this allows me to really engage my glutes more with the hip thrust rather than your quads and hamstring, because it does still work your quads and hamstring, but we want a glute focus version of this. So if you feel it in your hamstring and quads, it's probably because your feet are too far away from your glutes. You want to just like back it up a little bit. And then to increase the intensity of this exercise, after doing 15 reps, I went ahead and did some hip abduction but seated. You can do these a lot of different ways, honestly. Like I could have sat on the box and like leaned forward, but I was just too lazy to do all that. So I went ahead and superset it. I think I did about like 15 to 20 reps, really pushing against the resistant bands to really feel it in my abductors and that gluteus minimus and medius muscle of your glutes. Because it's of a smaller muscle, you can go for higher reps, but you want to include exercises for that muscle group, you guys, because honestly, that's what's going to give you that shelf looking figure with your glutes. It targets that like top part of your glutes, so you cannot neglect it. Then I went ahead and did some Bulgarian split squats with light weight, really focusing on getting that full range of motion. So as you can see, I'm like barely touching the floor. So I'm making sure I'm going as low as possible, keeping that form with my knees not tracking over my toes. So as you guys are gonna see, my knees either is aligned above or just a little bit behind my toes, so it doesn't have that much tension on the joints. And I'm leaning forward so that I'm actually engaging the lower part of my gluteus maximus, and that's just gonna really help like lift the glutes and make it a little bit bigger, give that like illusion of it being bigger. So once I finished doing those, I went ahead and did, I don't know if you guys call this like lateral band walks or like side steps, but I did this for 40 seconds. And this also targets the medius and minimus of your glutes, which is that top muscle we were just talking about earlier. And what I love about this is that it's simple, but it burns after doing it for a while. So I did this for 40 seconds, just going from side to side in different directions. And I'm really pushing against the resistance. So if you don't feel it in the glutes, it's because you're not opening your legs far enough. So you really want to make sure you're pushing against the resistance so you can really feel it in the medius and minimus muscles. So that's like the top part of your glutes, but it kind of runs around to the side. So you would feel it a bit in your side as well. Then I went off and did some sumo squats. So here I'm doing light weights. I usually go about like a 65 pound dumbbell, but I'm doing about 25 here. Just focusing on getting the proper form, pushing my knees out, dropping my glutes to the ground, pushing up through my heels. So I'm really targeting my glutes. Bringing my torso a bit forward, as you guys can see. I'm not like upright, I'm literally like slanted a bit forward so that I can really target you know, the lower part of your gluteus maximus. So you would feel it in that part. Like when you do this, you would feel it in your inner thigh. You should also feel it at the bottom of your glutes. So for my burnout, you guys, I chose violence. I legit woke up and chose violence. I think it's also because I had my clients do this burnout, and I'm like, listen, girl, if you're having your clients do this, your ass better do this too. So what it is 120 reps, done twice, and you start off with doing 30 glute bridges. I have a resistant band and a dumbbell just for intensity. I am keeping sliding, so I just keep adjusting my body, but I'm really trying to make sure that I'm pushing off the heel of my foot and thrusting my hips all the way to the top to get that full hip extension while keeping my knees up apart as well. And I'm making sure to squeeze my glutes as much as possible when I get to the top. So once I finish doing 30 reps, I turn around and I did some clam raises, or just clams is what they're called. I know there's like a whole different variations to this. There's one where you're lifting your hips up or your feet open up, but I'm doing this one, and this is working the gluteus minimus and medius muscle. So what I spoke about earlier, that like smaller upper glute muscle, the top part of your glutes. I did 30 with the right leg, and then I switched over and I did 30 with the left leg, pushing completely against the resistance. And once I finished doing the other side, I went ahead and did some frog pumps. So frog pumps essentially is just like a glute bridge, but instead what you're doing is you're opening your knees up as wide as possible. So it is a bit difficult when you have the resistant bands, but you still want to make sure that you're pushing your knees apart so that you really are engaging those medius, minimus, and your maximus all at the same time. And you're just thrusting up, extending your hips up, and squeezing your glutes at the top. And I did this for 30 reps. And once I finished this, I took like a 1-minute break and did these suicide sets all over again. It is day 2 of my week of workouts, and you guys, I'm in a good mood today. Like, the sun is shining. Don't get it fooled though. Like, just because it's sunny right now, the sun is like shining on my skin. It is cold. The wind is very strong. It will blow your whole mother away. Like, it's crazy. I also got my nails done too. Like, I got a fresh set. I know my fingers look all crinkly and stuff, but I got a nice fresh set in like a chocolate brown color. So, you know, nails and lifts, that's what we're gonna do today. Because today is day 2, I am going to be targeting my hamstrings as well as glutes. So it's a Hammies Glutes day, and I have my pre-workout right here. What's super important, honestly, is like when it comes to my workout program now, my new workout split, I really try to target every part of my lower body. So that means my hamstrings. You cannot neglect your hamstrings. Yeah, I don't know who's behind me. You cannot neglect your hamstring, you guys. You have to target your hamstrings. So you don't have to do like strictly hamstring day. You can kind of do what I do, where it's glutes and hamstrings. And what you guys are going to see is that a lot of like the glute exercises that I do, actually, I kind of like incorporate my hamstrings in it. And then hamstring exercises, I hinge at my hips, because when you hinge at your hips, which is basically just pushing your hips backwards and a slight bend in your knee, you're actually engaging more of your glutes with your hamstrings. So you guys gotta notice that. That's like a difference when you see like the RDLs, which is a form of deadlift, and then the conventional regular deadlifts. Because the RDL, you're actually hinging your hips, so you're pushing your hips more back and you have a slight bend in your knee. That engages your like lower part of your glutes as well as your hamstrings. So we won't get all those details in later on. I'm gonna drink my pre-workout so it can kick in. I'm not dry scooping it. We have it diluted. Okay, so this one I'm just speeding up because I've done this 1,000 times. It's my hip rotators. I do 8 to 10 reps per leg. If you follow me, then you already seen this. So the new one that I've tried were the shin boxes with the hip extension. So it took me a bit of a while to figure this out, like how you do the movement of your knees. But once I got it and I understood like, okay, the movement and the sequence of it, I realized, you guys, that like my hips were tight, okay? Like I kind of had a feeling already because I can feel it like when I would go down and up. But doing this movement really made me realize that like I need to stretch my hips a lot more. So this was really good to do, and I'm probably gonna do this again after like on like my mobility days, just because I shouldn't feel like I'm 60 years old. Like I shouldn't feel like I need a hip replacement. So then when I went ahead and did a squat to, I think this is like a kneeling down side to side. I even couldn't do this for too long because like just staying low like that was like hurting, as you can see in my face. So your girl needs to stretch, like definitely needs to stretch. But I really did like these dynamic stretches. I'm definitely going to incorporate them more into my lower body days. And the first exercise that we went ahead and did is we did some deficit RDLs. So this is a huge deficit. Like I am on a whole like stepping stool just to really get that full range of motion. And what I'm doing here is I'm making sure that I'm keeping my back flat. I am pushing my hips back without like further bending my knees, because it's not a squat. So that's what you guys want to keep in mind. RDLs are not a squat. So you really want to hinge your hips, which means push your butt back while dropping your chest and keeping that back flat. So you don't want to over round it. I'm definitely going very low, as you can see, like practically down to my ankles. You don't have to do this. You can literally just go a bit past your knees and then come back up, as long as you're maintaining that straight back and not overarching or over rounding your back. So you should feel this in like your lower glutes of the gluteus maximus, which is like the main part of your glutes, as well as your hamstrings. And I did this for about 15 reps, and I actually did this for 4 sets because, I don't know, RDL is just like one of my favorite exercises. I really do love them, and it was just kind of fun to do them like higher up. Clearly it was a bit different, but it was fun nonetheless. Then I went ahead and did some cable pull-throughs. So this is also a good way to target your hamstrings and that like lower parts of your glutes. If you guys notice, it's pretty much kind of the same motion of like a kettlebell swing, but instead you have a rope attached to the cables. And I did this for 20 reps, and I did this for 3 sets. And I have light weights on here. I'm not too sure how much. I think it's like 10 pounds plus the weight of the actual cables, because it is a weighted cable. And I'm just hinging back my hips so I feel it in my hamstring as well as the lower parts of my gluteus maximus. I keep my back flat. That's what's super important. If you guys are realizing that like you're feeling tension or like pain in your lower back when doing this, is because you're overarching your back and your lower back is not flat. So I really advise you to just do this while looking at yourself in the mirror, or record yourself so you can see what like your posture looks like, because chances are very high that it's probably that if it hurts your lower back. So as I finished doing that, I went ahead and I did some hamstring curls. Yo, I almost forgot the name of this exercise. And so if you guys have done this exercise before, then you guys would know that like this is really good for targeting strictly your hamstring, because literally that's all you feel working while doing this exercise. So this is why it's in isolation, because it isolates your hamstrings. And I did this for about 20 reps for 3 to 4 sets. I cannot recall. And here I have a light weight since it's my deload week. So what I'm doing is I'm really focusing on the contracting and extending of my muscles. So I'm taking my time, going slowly down and coming all the way up. You also want to make sure that you don't tap the weight, so you don't drop the weight all the way back down. You really want to still keep that tension on your hamstring muscles while you extend your legs out, because it's still going to be under tension. Like it's still working even though you're not contracting your muscles. You still have the weight that you have to like lift up and control as you bring it back down. I hope that makes some sense to you guys. So to finish off this workout, I went ahead and targeted my glutes by doing some like glute isolation work with my resistance bands. So here I'm doing some standing hip abduction, and this targets my medius and minimus muscles. So as I mentioned earlier to you guys, I always make sure I have at least one exercise in my workout that targets these muscles. So here I'm doing, I believe 20 reps. I did 3 sets of these of standing hip abduction. Really push it against the resistance band, and you should feel this in like the top glute muscle. Also, you're gonna feel it on the side, because as I said, that muscle does like follow down through the side of like your hips. And I supersetted that with 20 kickbacks with my resistance band. So as you guys can see here, I have my hand placed on my glutes, not for aesthetic reasons, but because it allows me to feel my glutes contracting and making sure that I have that muscle to mind connection. So for some people, they don't need to do that, but for me, I just like to, it just gives me that like extra like confirmation that I'm working my glutes. You should feel this definitely in the lower part of your glutes. Also, if you do feel it in the other leg, that is normal, you guys, because you are putting all your weight on the other leg. You want to make sure that your back is straight, so you shouldn't feel this in your lower back. And I did this also for 20 reps.
Block this year. Went from a low to a lot this year. Everybody mad.
All right, it's cardio day, my favorite day. It's really not, you guys. I do not like doing cardio, but you know what? I still have to do it. So I actually started picking up skipping, because I've seen a few of my friends on Instagram do this, and I was just like, you know what? I used to love skipping back in the day as a kid. So I just grabbed the skipping rope and I go for about 15 to 20 minutes, trying different variations, working on my stability, my stamina, you know, just that like hand-feet coordination. And to come to think of it, like, you guys, I like it. I actually like skipping. I had fun with it. I was listening to like different music, skipping to the beat, and just like playing around, having fun. So I definitely would recommend skipping if you are someone who hates going on the treadmill. Also, another good cardio that I've been loving lately, like if you follow me on Instagram, you have seen this. If you don't, make sure to follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna leave my link in the description box below. Are these battle ropes. Like, I just love how much I challenge myself. Here I'm going at super fast. Like, it literally looks like DNA. I'm so proud of myself because y'all, this is hard. Like, I might be making this look easy, but it is so hard. So I was going for like 30-second intervals. I would take a 1-minute break and go back. And I'm also doing like different variations of the battle ropes, and I want to like challenge myself and see what I can do. And obviously, I mean, it's not obviously, but I did went ahead and go on the treadmill. This is a bit of a different kind of treadmill. So this one is curved and it basically goes off momentum. So pretty much you don't have that start and stop button. You just kind of like go to your pace and the machine picks up with it, if that does make sense. So if you ever see those videos when people are like sprinting super fast on this like something that looks like a treadmill, this is that something that looks like the treadmill. So I'm just walking on it for a couple of minutes. I'm just on my phone scrolling, looking at different music, Instagram. Sometimes I'll play like a YouTube video and I'll watch it as I do my walks. Then I decided, you know what, stop being lazy, actually run. So I started running. I did 30-second intervals. I did about 4 sets of these. Also, key thing, you guys, do not keep your hands on the railing when doing the cardio on the treadmill, okay? Take your hands off of it. Put it on your hips, put it on top of your head, put it somewhere, but not on the railing. So I'm just doing like a slight jog. And then what's really interesting about this machine is that you can do this like push walk movement, which I'm doing right now. So I'm bending down about like 45 degrees, but I'm pushing really hard. You can't tell, but believe me when I tell you this, I am pushing really hard against those like, don't know what to call it, but yeah. So to end off my cardio ab day, I went ahead and did about 5 to 10 minutes of abs. The first thing I did were leg raises. So here, making sure that my legs are super straight. I'm going as low as possible without touching the floor, keeping my back completely flat on the mat. If this is too difficult for you guys, definitely place your hand under your butt. It is going to help you. Or you don't have to go that low, because the lower you go, the more your lower back is going to lift off the mat, and you don't want that because that will cause tension in your lower back. Then I went ahead and I did some alternating toe taps is what I want to say. This is really good for targeting your lower abs. It may look super simple and easy, but trust me y'all, it's not. So then to focus more on my lower abs, I did these like individual leg raises. So my left leg is just chilling, and then my right leg, I'm actually lifting it up and down. I'm not supposed to be touching the floor, even though I just did because I was tired and you know, my lower abs was hurting. But I did 15 per leg, and then I went ahead and held my feet together at a 45-degree angle up on my forearm, really just engaging my whole abs for about 20 seconds. Then I did this like up and down plank movement. This looks simple, but I saw Janae K Fitness do this in one of her videos, and I was just like, bruh, this is okay. I need to do this more often because this feels good. And then supersetted that with a 1-minute plank. I just fast forward the whole thing because like y'all are not gonna watch me do a plank for 1 whole minute. If ever you guys are tired from a plank, just drop to your knees, but make sure you keep your hips forward like I'm doing here. That way you still keep your core engaged. As much as I do not want to do this workout right now, like I tell you, I'm just like, I just want to chill in my bed. I don't want to leave my house. It's snowing, it's cold, it's just not what it's supposed to be. I'm just over the season. I'm really over it. But a big reason why I am going is because I'm like, oh my god, I have to record this content, so I actually have to work out. But if I wasn't recording this content, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I probably wouldn't be working out. So anywho, I also want to try working out without pre-workout because I'm realizing that like I'm very dependent on it, and I'm not doing a heavy workout today. It's going to be a deload week, as I said, so it's going to be like light stuff. I'm going to do 4 exercises, so I don't think I need to have pre-workout. We're going to try without it. I'm feeling right now like I'm already regretting my decision to not take it, and I'm just like, no, I should just take a little bit, just a little bit. I don't know if that's like, I feel like I have a crackhead tendencies. Like I feel like that's like a drug addiction. I don't know. I have a confession, you guys. Oh my god. I literally went downstairs in the kitchen to get some water, and I saw my pre-workout just looking at me, and I was just looking at it, and I was just like, we're just gonna take half a scoop. Oh my god, I feel like an addict. Oh my god, I really need to stop. I really need to stop because I did not need it. Oh, this is terrible, very terrible. But anyways, we are very late, very late, but we're gonna go ahead Let me stop vlogging because I'm vlogging as if I'm not late and I don't have somewhere to be, like the gym. The gym is calling me, okay? The gym is calling me. We need to go see her. We need to go see Bae. So I'll see you guys at the gym. Yo, when I tell you, it's like I feel like I'm destined not to be going to the gym. I feel like I'm destined not to be going to the gym because my dad parked my car and now I'm like stuck on freaking ice and I can't get out! Oh my god. I'm so freaking annoyed. I hate winter. This is legit the third time I get stuck on ice. No, he's gonna have to get me out because this is ridiculous. You parked my car into freaking ice. Now my workout's gonna be like cut into half.
Shana?
You parked my car on ice and now I'm stuck.
Oh, you cannot get out?
No.
Okay, I'm coming to have you.
Okay. I'm just annoyed because this is the third time. This is the third time in like the past week and a half that I'm stuck on ice. Stupidness. I got out. I just had to keep reversing and going forward for like 5 minutes. My dad didn't have to come outside because, you know, I'm a professional. I'm a Canadian girl. We know how to get out of this. I'm a professional. I've been doing this 3 times in the past week now. Okay. So I'm not going to let this ruin my day. We're going to have a good day. We're going to get a quick pump in at the gym. And it's okay. Positive vibes. That was just a little setback. It's okay. It's okay. Shawty go jogging every morning. Pedestrians running across the street when it's not your light. Bro, what are you doing? Not gonna let it ruin my day. I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be happy. We're going to the gym. We're gonna have a good workout. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Sorry, get what you want. You get what you please. We about to get it off. I love me some Pop Smoke. What else is on this playlist? We need to get pumped before going to the gym. So I'm going to have to find one of my songs that's going to get me into the mood because I need this. This is going to be my other half of the scoop of pre-workout is music. I need to find a way to pump myself up for the gym without taking pre-workout. I need to make a fire playlist because I need like a playlist pre-gym workout and a playlist during workout. That's what I need to do. I'm going to put down my list of things to do. The list of things that I say I need to do that I never get done. It's so terrible. I know why I can't. Hey, I know why I can't in this club with you, girl. Is it cause a nigga handsome and wealthy? Is it cause a... So for my quad focus workout, I started off by doing some goblet squats with a 20-pound dumbbell. So I'm going a bit lighter since it is a deload week. I'm doing higher reps. So I did 20 reps. I did this for 3 sets. And I have my heels elevated off the floor just so I can engage my glutes a bit more. I'm also going really, really deep in the squat. Like I am going basically ass to grass. So this is obviously more attainable for people who have that mobility and flexibility in their hips. Don't think that you have to go this low because sometimes with like the anatomy of your body, your flexibility, your mobility, you're not able to go this low. Doesn't mean that you're not doing a proper squat if you don't go this low. It just means you're not able to. So just go to what you're capable of doing. You also want to make sure that you're keeping your core tight. And when I come up, I'm not leading with my hips. I'm actually bringing my whole body up at the same time and squeezing my glutes at the top. So once I finished doing my goblet squats, I went ahead and did some step ups with 2, I believe these are 15-pound dumbbells. And so with this step up, what you guys really want to do to make sure that it actually engages your glutes a bit more, because it is very much of like a quad exercise. And if you are someone who's quad dominant, then an exercise like this is going to work your quads a bit more if you don't put these certain cues into play. So what I want you guys to remember when you do this is when you come up, you're stepping with that foot that's on the bench. You're pulling your body weight up with that foot and not pushing off of the foot on the floor, which is one. Another thing is you want to push through your heel of your foot to really engage your glutes. You also want to slightly lean forward as you come up, which is also going to help target like that lower part of your gluteus maximus. Keep your core nice and tight and just control yourself as you slowly bring your body up and go back down. I did this for about 15 reps and I did these for 3 to 4 sets. I don't remember that much, but honestly, that's pretty much what I did. So after I finished with my step-ups, I went ahead and did some seated hip abduction with a medium resistant band. So this is really good to target your medius and minimus gluteus muscles, especially because I feel like a lot of times we do neglect this when we do like lower body days. It is a smaller glute muscle, but this is what's going to give you guys that shelf looking shape from the side view. Like if you want that like upper, like that oomph at the top, this is really going to help with it. What I want you guys to keep in mind is you want to go for higher reps with this. You also want to push far apart from the resistant bands and then slowly control your legs as you bring them back in. And I also like to kind of lean forward with this just to target my glutes a bit more. So to end off my quad focus workout, I did some leg extensions. Because I'm doing 45 pounds, I am able to do 15 to 20 reps for 4 sets. And so what's super key important about this exercise, you guys, is you want to make sure that you're always controlling the machine. So as you bring it up, you want to control it, and as it comes back down, you want to be in control. You don't want the machine to basically like swing your legs back in, because then you're not really engaging and not contracting, but engaging your muscles throughout the whole entire exercise. Also, you don't want to like fully lock out your knees and jerk your legs up at the top, because that's going to cause like serious damage to your joints. And another thing you want to keep in mind is you want to make sure that you're always seated. So if you feel yourself like lifting your butt off, then you might want to like lower the weights. Alright, so it's upper body day. Before I even get into this workout, you guys, can we just admire my outfit? Like, do we see how cute this like color coordination, the vibrancy is just, I really like these yellow mustard color leggings on me, except for when I wear my red puffer jacket. It makes me look like a walk-in McDonald's fry, and it's just not a fit. It's not cute. But when I'm in a gym with the white sweater and the socks, it's a fit. Okay, it's cute. It's cute. So I do my usual dynamic stretches with the shoulder mobility. I use a resistant band, but mine was broken, but you can still use one that's not broken. And I ended it off by doing just some like lateral stretches, 2 seconds per side. Then as usual, my first exercise is always chin-ups, because it exerts the most energy and it's the hardest one for me, because I am on the goal to get a chin up with just the body weight. I just have to keep practicing, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been slacking. So I started by doing 8 reps with the resistant band. This is really good for beginners, people who are trying to do a pull-up. It just helps bring your body up, and you can increase the intensity or decrease the intensity with the weight of the band. So if you get the thinner band, you're pulling your body up more rather than the band helping you. Thicker bands, obviously you have more like help from the band. Then what I'm doing here is actually scapular retraction. So I'm pulling my body up as much as I possibly could without actually bending my elbows. This is basically gonna like warm up and like work the muscles that you would use to pull up your body in a pull-up. Then what I went ahead and did was actually bench press. Like, okay, public service announcement, but ladies, we do need to bench press, okay? We have to stop neglecting it and thinking that bench press is gonna make us lose our boobs, is gonna make us look bulky, and whatever other word that people like to associate it that's negative connotation to working out with women, okay? Bench press is not gonna do any of that. Definitely bench press. I would suggest starting with dumbbells. Here I am doing 20 pounds with a barbell, and I did 8 reps, 4 sets, because it is hard for me. But still, ladies, like, do not be afraid to bench press, please. Okay, so then we went ahead and did some bent over rows. I love this exercise, you guys. Like, this is probably one of my favorite exercises for upper body. I'm doing a lightweight because it is a deload week, but I'm making sure that I'm bending my knees, hips are pushed back is slanted at a 45 degree angle. Next, I have some skull crushers. I am doing this bilaterally, so that basically means I'm using both of my hands and I'm using a dumbbell in each hand, which is more difficult. If you guys want, you can definitely use both hands with one dumbbell or a fixed dumbbell. It's a lot easier to balance. Another key thing you want to keep in mind when doing these tricep exercise is you want to keep from your elbow to your shoulder completely flat, okay? It's just your forearm, which is your wrist to your elbow, that's moving. This way it targets your triceps mainly and not so much your biceps. And I did this for 15 reps, 3 sets. Then to end off my upper body day, I did some up and down planks. So this is I'm not gonna lie, this exercise, you guys, it burns because it not only just works your arms, your shoulders, but also your core, because you want to make sure you're squeezing your core, keeping it engaged as you do this, and you're literally just lifting your body up with one hand at a time. So it can be difficult. If it is too difficult for you guys, I would really do recommend you to do a modification version, which is basically just on your knees, but your hips have to be forward so that you are still engaging in your core. I did this for 12 reps and I did these for 3 sets and I was just done. I was literally done after.